Hi guys and girls, and welcome to Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand. I'm the host Dave D, and thank you for joining me here today, and thank you for joining our family. For you guys out there, of course, who have already subscribed to the channel, thanks a lot. And of course, for you guys out there that want to know all of what's coming up and happening, hit that notification bell right now. Of course, we are a listener-sponsored podcast. We survive from you guys liking us and we liking you. We're one big family. Thanks for joining us. There's a lot to come, and we'll see you soon. Don't forget all the links below. See you next time.
Latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.
And welcome to Pattaya, welcome to Thailand, and welcome to the Talking Heads podcast studio. If you've just joined us from around the world, how are you doing? Over at the top of the table, as per normal, Mr. Bobby the man himself.
Doing good.
How you feeling?
Ready for this podcast today.
It's all right.
I miss my Darren, man. Once a week is not good enough.
Our daily dose, our daily, weekly dose of Darren. There you go.
One time's enough, I think.
I can tell you, he's had more than a dose once. Darren Mc Garry, welcome to the show. It's good to have you in here again.
Thank you, sir.
It's as we keep it as light-hearted as we can, of course, on this show, because as present situation, the current situation, of course, is hopefully improving soon. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. We need to keep our spirits up, as most people do as well, and stay happy.
We're trying, aren't we?
We do.
It's been a difficult time, very difficult time. You know, but obviously with the talk of the vaccines and everything else.
Thank you, sir. It's as we keep it as light-hearted as we can.
Oh, we got some technical difficulties.
How's that?
It's not your turn.
Hang on.
We're good.
Are we still on?
We're still on.
Who was that?
That was YouTube bouncing back.
You tell your frigging neighbours to stay out of this show.
They're looking for the goat.
I thought I'd left me body. What can we say? The Tourist Authority of Thailand has sparked an idea to improve tourism. So here we go. This is their idea. Okay, the idea is if two people come over and they come over to Thailand on their own, if they're lonely, they're now going to hook two people up, so two people can go to designated tourism spots around Thailand, and this will improve and generate more tourists. What do you think about that one?
What, you mean two foreigners, yeah?
Two foreigners that are coming over from different countries, right, and they're coming on their own to Thailand, and basically what they're going to do is they're going to put them together.
Well, no disrespect to foreign women, but isn't that the reason why guys come over here, to get away from them?
Yeah, but I think they're thinking, well, yeah.
It's like bringing coats to Newcastle, you know?
they're trying, for example, if you got somebody from China who's come on his own, and you got somebody from India that's come in on his own.
Yeah. I'd end up with Mrs. Patel on that fucking unlucky me.
But they're trying to put two people together so they can go around and enjoy all the sights and do stuff together as two people enjoying themselves instead of one person on his own lonely. I mean, do you think that's a good idea? I don't think it's a good idea.
What have they been talking to?
I don't know.
Who's lonely?
I don't know. Are you lonely?
I think this is the place where you don't have to be lonely.
Are you lonely, Bobby?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you?
Hang on. When did you get lonely, Bobby?
Actually, I got lonely the other night when I woke up at 2 a.m. and I started having I was having bad dreams. I woke up and I was lonely, man.
I told you not to sleep with us.
Yeah, I got a little lonely, so you know how I just made it all right.
You can do, though, in this place. You can, because, I mean, I lived on my own for, 3 years. You know, sometimes when, you know, you've done that much banging that, you know, you've... you drew it to a point, you know. You bang, there's nothing left of it, you know. It's like some fucking shriveled up old pea, yeah. You know, you get to the stage where sometimes you want to be on your own, but you know you're there and you've got nobody to talk to. It's not like having family, you know, where you can just nip to your mum's for a cup of tea in the kitchen and stuff.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing
what
that
you
I
miss.
That's what I miss.
You know, you're having a bad day. Where do you go? You go in the kitchen and talk to your mum, don't you? That's it. You know, and by the time you come out, everything's sorted.
Your mum always has the answer to everything.
She knows everything.
She knows everything. In fact, my mum, the same as every other mum on this planet, was Wikipedia even before Wikipedia was invented, mate. Because they all had a solution, didn't they? You know?
Used to knock on the door and she used to look at me and say, "What's wrong?" Put the kettle on. That was it. You know. By the time you went out, you felt great. You know, and that's what I miss sometimes. you miss that family environment.
I do. I agree with you. I mean, going back, we were speaking the other day. I've connected with some of the friends, like a lot of us probably have over the years.
Yeah.
I've collected why this COVID's been on. I've connected with a lot of friends that were at my school, and I haven't spoken to them for 25, 30 years, 40 years plus.
They've all been in Nick. They've all been in Nick, that's why.
What does he have this persona of me or something?
We love Darren, man.
We do.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ronnie Biggs and
anyway, let's get back to this.
Charlie Cray.
So we've connected after 30 years of 35 years. We've connected. When I was the warden of the prison,
you can hear the keys jangling.
No. So I've been connecting with these guys over the period of the last few months, and I must say, like one or probably the best friend out of school, his name was Joff, and we did everything together. And suddenly I started connecting with him, and it was just like we'd spoken yesterday.
Nothing had changed.
Nothing had changed because he's doing a multi-million thing, and he's this blah blah. He's completely a different person. But as soon as we started talking together, we were that two lads on a field with a Lambretta that we'd stolen that was on fire going around the field, and having a laugh about it, and it was just one of those things, we used to super glue and put glue on toilet seats and cling film and all these kind of things, we missed that. It was a great time.
I think when everybody's going through a rough time like we are here and people overseas, I think you do that. You tend to psychologically go back to the good times, to try and get away from the feeling of depression that people are feeling when things are not going like they're supposed to do, And you start. I think it's that mothering feeling. You wanna connect with people that make you feel better.
I think we've all. I think we've all got our own way of dealing with it. Yeah. Of dealing with, say, depression or sadness or whatever we feel at times. We're grown men in the studio, and if we say that we haven't cried at one time, we'd be lying. If we say that we haven't sat in a corner and thought of things and depressed ourselves, we'd be lying. But we've also got this positive side to us, and that is that we've got like our little door that we can open, we can walk through and find the memories that we like, and that takes us to another place and helps us through the day. Like
Frank said, did it my way.
You did, absolutely, and we do it our way, don't we, Bobby?
We do. You got to do. You got to take it on the chin and get up. I mean, I said it last week that to the guys that are looking in now that we're not having it easy here. No. They're having it. It's difficult there as well as we're having it here. It's no better. If anything, it's worse here. We've just got the chance of going out and do whatever we want to do, but it's still with the women's side of it, but it still doesn't make you feel any better, mate. It's still hard work.
Well, I mean, the figures.
It's depressing.
It is. The figures for, let me put it this way, Thailand received more than, this is the official figures, Thailand received more than 1,000 foreign tourists in October. The first set of visitors to the Southeast Asia nations within 6 months have now come over 1,000 people, compared to the October arrivals, compared with, you ready for this? 3.7 million in the last year. Wow. So we've gone from 3.7 million to just over 1,000. I mean, that shows you the impact of what's happening. Now, we're not going to go too far into it, but we know that Bobby knows as well, we've got 3 vaccinations on the table, 92, 94, 97%, 96%, positive, that's what they say, they're efficient. Released between the 11th and 13th of December, in batches. So what do you think about this, guys?
I just read a Bangkok Post article that they're going to give the United States and Japan first dibs on all the vaccinations, and Bangkok's going to take a seat and give it to the United States first. Have you guys heard anything about that?
I read that too. 300 million the states have ordered. Japan second, and we're just going to have to wait.
100 million in the UK ordered. 100 million in the UK. But they say, I don't know about you, and you'd probably know better than me, and that is, are all 3 vaccines a 2-stage one where you have to have 2? There's one way.
I heard it was more than that, but I could be wrong.
I heard you have 1, then you have to wait 3 weeks and then go back and have the other part to it.
Then you turn into a robot after 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, like you said before, it's only been tested for a year. So I mean, it's has it been tested for a year?
No, it hasn't.
Exactly. So we don't know where we're going with it. And of course, I know your theories in this, and if we start on your theories and we start to dig in, we're going to get deeper and deeper.
I think it's pure evil, but I'm going to keep my mouth closed.
Yeah. The only thing I can say about it is I don't give a shit if it's water in that file, as long as it gets the world a better place and tries to get us some sort of norm again. Open, especially for us here, opening the borders and letting guys back in and. The Thais not being scared of COVID anymore.
I think, and I'm saying this in present company, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. I think that if they don't make it as though you can just get off a plane and walk into this country, they've got a big problem.
Agreed.
They've got a big problem.
Agreed.
So they've got to make it very, very easy, very, very plain and simple. Via whatever visa it is. Just a normal standard, whatever it is, and come in. Now, I know that in the UK now what they're doing is you can fly over to the UK from any country in the world now. You can fly into the UK and pay £120 for a test. Yeah, your own test, COVID test, stay in a hotel or home, isolate for 5 days only now, and after that you're okay. That's what they're doing in the UK to soften the blow in certain tiers, because it's like a 3-tier operation, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
So I don't really know. I mean, my uptake on this is I don't really think there's that many people know what's going on.
No, we don't.
I think the puppet masters do, but I don't think everybody else does.
I mean, there's a lot of theories going on now. Like I said before, are they getting us ready for something that's going to happen in the future that only the big, the world leaders know about? Is it something that nasty is going to happen that we don't know about? Is it a new disease? Is it an asteroid? Is it something just, like that? We just don't know, do we? And, it's just people are throwing a lot of stuff out there. And, it's... But, I spoke to somebody who's supposed to be on lockdown in the UK. And I spoke to a family member and I said, where are you? I said, we just got back from Sainsbury's. I said, I thought you were on lockdown. Yeah, but nobody really... takes any notice of it.
I mean, here now, the masks here in Thailand themselves now, if you look around now, a lot of them are sort of not even wearing them no more. It's sort of like disappeared. I mean, 7-Elevens and places like that now.
You've got to do, mandatory.
Well, you say that, but I've been in 7-Elevens and now they're sort of like...
They're chilling more.
I don't think...
Because there isn't any. The Thais are getting to realise that there isn't any COVID here.
No.
And the only reason they are wearing the masks is because they're told to. It's like the helmets. You will wear your helmet when you're driving your bike. So what do? They don't wear the helmet. Now there's no real talk of COVID, as big news. It's more about the demonstrations in Bangkok.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody's forgot about the masks.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. I totally agree.
And they reckon 90% of the protesters are wearing masks to hide their identity. In Bangkok.
Probably, yeah.
Not because of COVID reasons, but to hide the identity of the earth. So,
yeah. So there you go. They're doing their thing. Thailand says the giant drug bust was a misunderstanding. So we had the biggest drugs bust in the Thailand's history. This sees more than $1 billion. Yeah, that's $1.3 billion if you put it into contraband of ketamine. And they said this was wrong. It was wrong. It wasn't that. They tested it, and it was, Mr. Darren?
It was the stuff that you get the skid marks out your underpants in. It's stain remover.
So let's put it this way: if you've brought any of this stuff, you're definitely going to shit your pants, mate, because this is not the real deal. But I mean, how can you get $1 billion worth of drugs?
Oh, mate. But they brought everybody into it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, we've been working with the Koreans and the Americans and the DEA and this, that, and the other, and it's the biggest ever. And then somebody decided to check it after. Why would you do that?
I mean, they say this. They said that they tested they tested it in the police station, and it went purple in the presence of ketamine. Yeah. But it reacted to the same. What is that? Because I'm not a big reader. I'm one of these dyslexics. What does that say at the bottom there? There's a word. There's a word.
Trisodium phosphate.
Yeah. So that turns it purple, the same as ketamine does. I mean,
Right, okay.
Doesn't anybody know that in the drugs industry?
Yeah.
No. Bobby?
I'm not sure.
No.
Now, ask yourself a question. Is it a double bluff? is it ketamine? And somebody dropped a bollock by finding it.
There you go.
You got to ask yourself that, mate.
Well, I know
Because that's a shitload of money to burn.
That's a shitload of money to burn, but of course also, by the powers that be, of course, you can find 800 million Yabba tablets just laying at the side of a river.
Which has just happened now, just to cover that bit up.
It hasn't, has it?
Did you not know about that?
It's happened, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just happened.
Interesting.
But you remember a few years ago when they burnt all that weed in the north in Isan, yeah? 50, what was it? 50 tons of weed, yeah? And smoked half of Isan out. All the people had to go to hospital. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The wind took the smoke, and all these old people were high as a kite.
I can remember Channel 3 News being there and interviewing the biggest sergeant there is there up there. And he went, how's it going? Is it going good? And he went, yeah, man.
Yeah. Where's Bob?
Where's Bob? It was like everywhere, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. They all had to go to hospital, the police, yeah.
Can you imagine that? One big spliff. It was massive.
Oh, it was
Great,
tons of the stuff,
Tons
yeah.
of it. On the visa front, I mean, what anything new that's come up on your area? I mean, is there any changes to anything?
Internally, no. Internally, everything's the same.
Mm-hmm.
There's still good options for people who are young. So people under 50, if you're struggling, you're here and you still need a visa, there's still options for you. So, bear that in mind. Mm. But I don't think there's that many now. I think people have either organised something or disappeared already. To come into Thailand, the STV, as we know, flopped. That was the 31 hoops, yeah?
Yep.
That's gone. But they've now introduced the TR60, which is the 60-day tourist visa. Mm-hmm. They originally said that you had to have 500,000 baht in your bank for blah, blah, $17,000, blah, 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 blah.
Whatever, now?
It's gone. You still have to fit for fly. You still have to get all these documents. You still have to do the 14 days quarantine when you arrive. You have to pay for your accommodation up front. So you still have to do these things, but getting a visa is more simple than what it was. And hopefully, it won't put too many people off that. It's not like the STV. Jesus Christ. Nobody, I think they only had 400 applicants before they shelved it. Right, and that's the world,
Crazy. And of course, the COVID situation itself, the hotels in Bangkok, I sent you a link and I showed you the prices of the COVID hotels. I mean,
scandalous.
Scandalous, no? Yeah. I mean, I think what was the lowest? 55?
Yeah, 55,000.
Yeah, 55,000 for 14 days. Basic up to 92,000.
Something like that. Just under 100,000.
So for 45 or 55 grand, you get sausage and beans, and for 95 grand, you get sausage, beans,
you get an egg thrown
and an egg and mashed potato.
But it's
scandalous, huh?
I think what scared them is now the news that China has bypassed Thailand as being the number one destination for the Chinese tourists now.
Yeah.
They're more conscious. So Thailand's big ambitions of 11 to 15 million Chinese tourists for next year has fell on its ass because they're now doing what Thailand's done and promoting internal tourism to keep the COVID at bay. So they're saying, well, why spend your money elsewhere? Spend it here. Spend it in your own country. So Thailand's gone, oh, shit, what we're going to do now? And this is why the TR60 was brought out.
I went around over the weekend, as Bobby knows. Took a drive around a few places. Ended up at like down banks of Rayong and places like. Ended up at a Rayon and
ended up at Lovers Bar.
No, it was surprising, Darren. It was surprising that
busy.
Every hotel on the beach front was full, completely full. You couldn't get in, and eventually I got a hotel, and I was talking to a lady in there in the reception, who spoke really good English, and she said basically all the people from Bangkok and all the surrounding areas had come down to Rayon to enjoy themselves. The water was crystal clear.
I know,
the sand was golden. Yeah, the people were friendly. Yeah, and the beaches and the people walking around were all basically 98% Thais. Yeah, and I stuck out like a balloon. Because
sure.
But I tell you what, wow, Such a nice time down
Beautiful,
there.
yeah.
Beautiful. You know, are they asking me to sit down with them, with the families and eat and everything, you know, and you're thinking, and you can look at them and think, these guys haven't got a lot. You know, they've got a motorbike outside with a sidecar, they've got a bit of food. They're not what we call, like, you know, smartly dressed. You can tell that they're probably a bit low in society. And they're asking you to come and sit down with them and eat some of their food.
Yeah,
which I thought was amazing and so nice.
We said it last week, didn't we? Koh Lan and Koh Chang, the islands, are rammed.
Yes.
Absolutely rammed with Thais.
Yes.
You know, because what they're doing is they're coming in off the motorway, bypassing the actual Pattaya city and going straight to the ferry. I mean, a friend of mine went over this holiday. There were 5 ferries. He had to wait till the 5th ferry.
Yeah.
To get over there. And he said it was absolutely mobbed. You see, that's why you don't see them 2 islands really saying, oh, we're desperate, like Phuket, you know. We're desperate, we've got no tourists, we're desperate. Because they're not.
No.
They're absolutely mobbed all the time. Pattaya has always been known with the Thais as the poor Thais destination for a holiday, if you understand what I mean, yeah? Because of the name and blah blah blah. So this new, as I said, this new motorway that comes round the backside of Pattaya to Rayong and Sattahip and stuff. That's why it's quiet.
I heard.
That's why the roads are quiet, because they're all coming round and
I was talking to
bypassing.
one hotelier who they've got a chain of hotels really in Thailand, and the one thing that I did like when I was sitting having a coffee and just talking, one thing he did say that I picked up on, he says they're looking to move. And I went, what do you mean? He says, most of the Thais that are in Bangkok now who have got businesses or families or whatever are looking to move location because of what's going to happen in Bangkok. We know that Bangkok is the sinking city. We all know that.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, when it floods, in the past, you've seen what happens. It wipes businesses out in 2 seconds, and people like us go around the streets in speedboats handing out rice to the people.
That's right.
So they're sick of it, and what they're doing is they're looking for different locations. So they're saying over the coming months, over the next 6 months, there's going to be a bigger influx of people down south looking for alternatives to where they are now.
Accommodation.
And also, of course, you've got a condo that's in Bangkok, and it's 13 million baht, and down here it's 3. So you can see the attraction.
You know, we said this before. About 8 years ago, there was massive floods in Bangkok. I mean, you were there, weren't you, with the boats?
Yep.
Pattaya, it was gridlocked.
Yep.
People coming from Bangkok. We're talking super wealthy people here. They couldn't get a hotel. They'd come in here, there were no hotels, and that's why people thought, right, okay. And they started investing in condominiums. And it was the Thais that were buying them. Mm-hmm. You know,
Well,
like
the
you
base,
said,
the base sold out in a day.
That's right.
It's just over a day, the base.
Yeah. I mean, what is it in Bangkok? It's something silly like 3 million baht per square metre. And here it's what, 40,000 baht per square metre for a
And what's
condo.
what's the price in Rayong? It's probably half of that, right?
Rayon's roughly on the same as us.
Yeah.
Down here, it's pretty okay actually. I looked at a couple of places there just to to know.
But the water in the ocean was a lot more sparkly over
it
there.
was
yeah?
absolutely. It was crystal. It's like my shirt. It was crystal, mate.
Okay, so it's like 2 hours from Bangkok to Pattaya. What is it? 2 hours and 20 minutes to Rayong on that new highway?
No, from Bangkok to Pattaya, if you're just going normal, what, hour and 20 minutes? Yeah. If you go into Rayong's 60 kilometers back, so you probably do it about roughly the same.
Yeah.
With the new highway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Wow.
The infrastructure, the one thing that Thailand have got as far as roads are concerned is great infrastructure.
Until you get up north, just past Bangkok, and then you've got it up the.
Then you're in the shit,
Then
then.
you're in the shit, mate.
Yeah.
Just prior after Bangkok, they just forget that tarmac exists.
You know, I was reading a forum, it's called Expats in Thailand, over the weekend, and I had a bit of a argument with a German guy, yeah? He to be honest with you, what he was saying was correct. He was saying that, GDP in Thailand is roughly 30 to 35%, tourism. So it's a lot of money. But the other 75% is manufacturing, factories, big businesses, big companies. So the Thais can live without it, without the tourism side. It's just they do want that extra money. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So, okay, I was saying, right, okay, yeah, well, you've got a great point until he started saying patio has a shithole and everyone should die who lives there and all this bullshit. Yeah, typical Falang who's got his pension, moved to Wisan and then gone all anti-Bargo, you know, all that sort of stuff. We see it, don't we? You know,
We do.
yeah. My girl,
Yeah.
girl's a good girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bollocks.
Worked in boots for years.
Yeah, he won't be saying that when she fucking nicks everything off him. Anyway, so he got booted off the forum because of the way he was talking. But he did have what I'm trying to get to is he did have a point that to people in Bangkok, tourism and the tourism areas, it don't really matter that much. COVID is more important. And this is why they're being so hard with it, because their attitude is, well, you know, all we're doing is propping up the flesh industry with tourism. Okay, the rest of the industries are still working well, so we don't really need it. Okay, you probably got a couple of million Isan families that rely on the money that is generated from the tourism areas, but do they care? They've never cared.
No.
They've never cared, mate. If you're not from Bangkok, they don't give a shit, mate.
Well, that's
You
it.
know, we know that, don't we? You know, we can say it openly. Everybody knows that. So I think this is why they've been so tight with the COVID and the visas, and you know, making the requirements so difficult and the borders, you know, impregnable. To be honest with you, because their attitude is, well, we'll look after the 75% we've got, and that it's still going strong, and the baht is still very, very strong, and sod the other 35%. Until the vaccine comes or things get better. So the guy had a really good point, you know, and it made me think, oh, maybe he's
Got something.
he's got something there, yeah. Because we don't, when you're living somewhere like Pattaya, you think this is Thailand, like you get it in your head, this is Thailand, like you've been away and you've seen, you know, you've been to different areas, and it does wake you up a little bit when you go out of the area.
Absolutely.
You go to Bangkok and you see the size of it. I mean, it takes you 40 minutes to drive through the place, and that's on a motorway.
Yeah.
You know, and you see how huge it is. You know, there's probably more people, I reckon, in the slums in Bangkok than live in Pattaya.
I would say. I would probably say the same.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
mate, it's that big. It's absolutely huge. So, you know, people think Bangkok's just an airport.
What's the population, Bobby? Do you know? Can you look on your computer? Can you?
Sure.
Can you find out for us the population? What do you think of
I think it's
Bangkok?
about 30 odd million in it.
Well,
something
60 was it 67 million in
Is the
Thailand?
country, yeah. I think it's 30 odd million, I think.
67, yeah, but I mean, we were talking statistics the other day to somebody, you know, still, I mean, 67 million and 30 deaths from this so-called COVID.
Well, the more people died over this long weekend in car crashes.
Absolutely. So,
What was the figure on that? Was it 400?
Was it on the car
40?
crashes? On the car
400
8.2
motorbike.
million. That's
How many,
all.
Bobby?
Only 8.2 million. I thought it was-
8.2 million.
Well, that shocked me.
8.2 million.
Still a lot, but it shocked me though.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Thought
gonna
it'd
be
be
more
more
than
I
that.
thought it was a bit more than that. What about car deaths over the weekend of the holidays? Do we have anything on that, Bobby? You see, now he's become Bobby the pilot and the researcher. Do you realise that we've upped him? That means he's going to want more money.
I know motorbikes, it's 400 and odd
Is it?
deaths. Just
Is it?
motorbikes, yeah.
Do you think? I mean, in Thailand, when we spoke about the driving in Thailand, you know, somebody said to me, "Are you going to drive a car? Are you going to drive a bike in Thailand?"
62 deaths per day.
62 deaths per day. You know, one day has beat the whole of COVID. Hello. What can we say? I mean, driving in Thailand, I was told when you're going to drive in Thailand, forget everything that you ever knew.
Correct.
Okay. Throw your brain out the window when it comes to driving and just follow what the Thais and the way they drive and the way their attitude to his driving. Because if you try to be polite, you're going to get hit up the arse by a truck.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I've been driving here about 12 years, and I forgot what I know back home.
Yeah.
And when I do go home, which is normally every Christmas, I won't be going this year, but my sister won't let me drive. She says, "No, you're a maniac.
Yeah,
I
you're
can't
probably.
let you drive," because I'm watching everybody and I'm thinking, because the roads are so wide here, I'm thinking, God, everybody's so close to each other.
Yeah,
No, I didn't know.
Don't want to do it.
No, I don't want to do it. No.
What are you saying, Bob?
377 people die every day in India on the roads.
377 people die every day in India.
From the roads, from car crashes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
377.
No, excuse me, 1,214. Road crashes, but deaths, 377.
So 1,000, 1,200 roughly crashes a day,
yeah.
and 370 odd people a day dying in India from road crashes, and they're pissing themselves and worried about COVID. You need a pee? Go for a pee, mate, if you want. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll do a commercial if you want.
Yeah, go on.
Hi, this is Dave, and if you want to buy the new Brush-O-Matic, tune in. Sorry, mate. It's all right. It don't matter. Go for it, mate. It's all right.
India is another planet, man.
India's another planet.
It's pretty nuts.
1,200.
I was there for 6 months.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Is that you doing all that on the screen?
I think that was the door vibration on that camera.
Okay, don't worry about it. It's all right. If you're out there, and of course, don't forget, if you want to get in contact with us, very, very easy, of course. TalkingHeads podcast.com is the website. If you want to come on the show, simply go to the email, fill the email out, and send us whatever you'd like to come on and tell us all about. Tomorrow, Jamcast, live down here at the studio. And of course, Earl is on the show. Earl Sullivan, the man, is looking good. The man that's got music inside of him, one stage ballooned in weight, but now is looking like a true athlete. Can't wait to have him on the show tomorrow. It's be pretty cool. And of course, we will be putting out the Ko-fi link very, very soon. We're just about done that. I mean, we're about there, aren't we? Well, we just need a couple of bits.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Pretty close. So that'll be out there for all you guys that asked us how you could donate and help the show. Thanks a lot to you guys, and we'll put the link out there very soon. So if you want to do that, you can. In the studio today, Darren Mc Garry, of course, from Key Visa, talking about visas and, of course, what goes on in the world today. And Bobby is at the top of the table. And, it's India. How did you like that one? Was it nice?
Like I said, it's a different planet there. It's everything is super dirty, super crowded, and it's a whole different scene.
Have you ever been? I've not been on this, but I know that some people have done this. Have you been on the Silk Road thing? Have you been on that? The Silk Road?
I haven't been there.
The Silk Road was the trading road. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the trading path.
I've never been on that, but I find it very, sort of interesting. I've watched a couple of programs on it. How they used to be in the old days use that road for trading up and down. But yeah, I find all those things interesting. No.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
And I mean, the old days that I find interesting, where they'd have bottles of potion that they've mixed up in their kitchen, and they will tell you that it cures everything that's wrong with you. You remember you used to get the man on the old truck?
All the Ayurvedic medicines.
Yeah, and he's got his potion and his top hat on, and it's this contraption will, you drink this and that's it. Your hair will stay the same.
Same in Thailand too. Yeah.
Oh, what is it with Thailand? What is it with Thailand that all Thai women have to have 500 tablets a day to stay good? What is it? I mean, you might as well feed them with a blood. I mean, it's easier just to get all the tablets. I've learned to get all the tablets in one go, put them in your hand, get a catapult, and just tell her to open her mouth, right, and just let them go.
Well, they're also into the herbs too here. I mean, a lot of the women know a lot about the medicinal herbs here in Thailand.
You got. Can you hear me in that headphone? Because that's the wrong way around. You do know that, don't you?
I haven't got a clue, is it?
Yeah,
I thought something were
that
wrong.
side. Yeah. No, you have to. That's it. I tell you what, I bet you're shit at Rubik's Cube.
Is that all right? Sorry about that. I was gagging for a pee. Sorry.
That's all right. You've got to go when you've got to go. Even the chicken goes now and again.
I do apologise.
So visas itself really is nothing new to what we know, except that, of course, they did the 500 grand and now they've lifted that.
Correct. Whatever the guys know out there is the same as I know. There's nothing extra. There's nothing special.
And you can't get into the country unless you have proof of a vaccine. Is the new latest thing that I heard? Did you guys hear that?
No, not yet.
Not yet. No, that's not into force yet.
No.
Oh, it's not in.
No, because they don't release over till 11th. I think 12th, 13th, and that's going to go on release, and then it's going to be way past that before anybody gets any. So probably into the new year.
I'm expecting. I reckon about April.
Yeah, I do.
We'll be kicking again.
That certificate will probably be part of your visa. Yes. You probably need the white card when you come in and the visa certificate to say that or the paper to say that you've had it and you're okay.
Yeah.
I would imagine so, wouldn't you? Something
Sure,
like
I'm
that.
just hoping Thailand don't go silly where even though you've had the vaccine, you still have to get checked for COVID and all this. You know, they could drag things on. You know, I'm just hoping that they're sensible and
The biggest mistake they can make is trying to milk more money out of the person that's coming into this country before they get into this country.
agreed.
You know, I've already got 2 friends who paid the 31 steps. Yeah, the 31 steps paid. One's paid 152 grand. Luckily for the other one, he was only 64 grand into it. Yeah, and they both lost it.
Because they pulled it. Yeah.
They both lost it. And when it's not refundable, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, why would you try again? Why would you try again? If somebody's going to rip you, why would you go back and get ripped again? It's not worth it.
It's, you know, people are saying on a lot of the forums that, Thailand doesn't offer that much to go through that much aggravation anymore, you know, and they're pushing and they are showing that they are anti-foreigner, if you understand what I mean, at the moment. And they've been doing it since that certain guy told everybody to wear a mask because we're dirty and we don't shower, you know.
Now, you think that's a current administration kind of deal? Is that the current junta?
We're not going to go there, Bob, you know. There's a lot of things I could say, but
Yeah, okay.
even though my head doesn't look right, I still like it as it is. I don't want to talk about them. You know, it can get a bit dangerous. But the be all and end of it, yes. The answer to your question is yes.
Let's hope they're going to get better. I mean, you know,
It will. You've got to be upbeat about it.
You got to be. I mean, the vaccine's going to come out. Whatever we think about it, you know, be it good, be it bad, be it from another planet, whatever it is going to be, we're going to end up having to take it or whatever in some way. And you know, if it improves the situation here in Thailand and around the world, then it's got to be done, hasn't it? Who are we to say?
I mean, they get people in the UK on lockdown for a month. You know, they're suffering as well.
Absolutely.
You know? So you know, it's driving them crackers. So everybody's going through it.
So I'm over in the UK or Australia or America or wherever I am, and I'm watching this show. I've been online. I've been on a dating site, for example, or I've been on these sites where you can find the girl of your choice. Not a dating site, but you can find lots of them because the Facebook pages are absolutely full with millions on there now. So I find a girl and I say, hey, you know what I mean, Darren, I found this girl and she loves me and I love her and we've been on the internet 5 times and she's the best thing since sliced bread and I'm going to give her all my things and I want to marry her and I want her to come over to the UK. Can you do it for me, please? Can that still be done?
No.
Okay, for what reason?
You haven't met her.
Okay.
Okay, most embassies don't take... You see, a relationship is very important. Okay, they want to make sure you know her and she knows you. She's going for the right reasons and you're not Fred West. They want to make sure that everything is tickety-boo. So they don't take meeting on the internet as 100%. Okay, they will take it into consideration if you have physically met, but they want to see proper photos. You've met in the flesh, shall we say. And normally... I like to see, in my business, minimum 2 times, 2 to 3 times visits. You know, and I think it's for her safety and your safety as well, because you don't want if you've got to 100% know her because you don't want to go into the UK and running off.
And also, of course, what it is you know, by her profile picture, of course, you want to know that it's her because you may be chatting to her for 6 weeks and then she says, "I'll meet you and I'll be the one with the red rose," and you turn around the corner and you got a heifer loop. I mean, you know,
a lot of guys have made that serious mistake.
Have they?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at places like Thai Cupid and stuff like that, you know, in big bold letters it says at the bottom, "Do not send money."
Oh,
do not. No, I'm telling you,
and
but people do
oh.
because they look at a photo and they get mesmerised by it, and the person behind the photo isn't them. You know, they set up these, you know, these fake
IDs, fake
IDs,
yeah,
you know.
Sure.
And I know one customer who fell for it. You know, with a lady from Indonesia.
Expensive, yes.
Oh,
very expensive. I mean,
paid for a flight, paid everything, sending her money for 6 months, paid for a flight, got to the airport, stood there waiting for her with a bunch of red ones, and nobody come through the door, mate. Very sad. He went back in, logged back in, gone. Profile gone.
Oh, the profile had gone,
Deleted.
So she took the money and ran.
Yes.
There's a lot of them. I mean, the one, of course, like we spoke on last time, that they've now caught somebody else again with the lottery scam. Last time it was 400 million baht, and now they've just done another 100 million bahts worth.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, okay, people are now turning even more so to try and find ideas to get money. So you've got to be so vigilant now on these sites. And like you say, so what the answer to the question...
Well, it's their money. If they want to send it, then that's completely up to them.
Absolutely.
We can't advise them not to. But all I will say is that Thailand has a reputation. Asia's got a reputation. It's not got a reputation for no reason. I mean, we know of Soy 6. Yeah, we know that they've got tripods with phones on there, and there's guys buying girls drinks and paying on PayPal with it and stuff like that at the moment, and because I think these guys sat at home, no disrespect to them, who used to coming here 2 or 3 times a year.
Maybe
they're getting a little bit frustrated now. I mean, desperate's not the word, but you just got to be careful where money's concerned.
Yeah, I mean, if you're buying a lady a drink on whatever, that's okay. It's peanuts, But
that's right.
Don't go into sending the big money, because if you start doing that, you're just going to be crazy and you're going to lose it.
Correct.
Straight away. I mean, people don't sort of understand that. Even people in the past, I've said to why are you sending them money? Why are you sending them money? Oh, because I understand that you're with her, and I understand that you need to support her. I understand that, but 65 grand for a new, for 3 plugs and a bit of cable is a bit expensive, mate. Oh, is it? I didn't realise that. And half the time they don't know the value.
I do visas. I've done 16 years, and before TransferWise and all this come in, people just use Western Union.
Yep.
The amount of times, I couldn't tell you how many times we've got Western Union slips off a girl for a visa application to show proof that the guy helps her financially. I found 4 or 5 different names. Senders, no disrespect, the girl's just gone, boom, there you go. Not even checked them, not even thought of checking them. Many years ago, I knew a girl, very, very good looking girl 15 years ago. She had a photo album of foreigners with his name on the back, his date of birth, his telephone number, where he was from, so she could remember what he looked like when he were coming. Not coming, but arriving. Oh, mate. She was a doll, mate. She really was. But, she ended up very, very wealthy out of it.
Whatever, B to B, and if the man wants to pay and he wants to do it, that's up to him. But, one thing that I'm trying to get to here is that one of the emails I had was from a friend of Paddy One, who sent me an email and said he has been talking to a girl in Pattaya, and basically he would like to get her over to the UK. And I was saying, well, I said the same thing. How many times have you met her here? He's never met her here, and he's never been together with her. So, surely on that basis, she wouldn't be able to go. No, that's the answer.
Not okay. If she was what we call Bangkok elite, if she had her own company and 6 Ferraris outside and 3 homes and stuff like that, she can go as a tourist herself.
Yeah, sure.
But they won't if she's.
So what's stopping? So what's stopping him sending her the money and she go over there as a tourist?
Because they're scared she's not going to come back.
Okay.
You've got to have assets. You've got to have collateral. You've got to have a proper good incentive and reason to return. Now, no disrespect, you get girls who work for BMW, these sort of places. They've travelled all over the world before. They've got a great job and they've got a great track record. They could get visas, but unfortunately, Pattaya doesn't really have that sort of clientele.
Okay.
I used to work in Bangkok, don't forget, and every visa application was a piece of piss. It went through.
Yeah, sure.
But here it's completely different, right? Because you're putting the onus on the embassy official to have a gut feeling. Do we feel she's going to come back or not?
Was it you that told me, just to clarify on something, somebody asked me the question again, and they asked me on Friday, and I said I'd ask you again. Was it you that said they're now doing the passports in India? Is that right? Did you say something?
No,
about
visa
India?
applications.
Visa applications. Okay, all right. I got that one.
Yeah.
I got that one wrong. I did say to him it was it was the passport for some reason.
UK passports are being printed in Liverpool.
Okay.
now. So an application goes through the passport office in Bangkok. They send a copy of your passport, not the original. So the original stays in Thailand. The passport is then printed in the UK, sent back DHL to Bangkok HMPO passport office, and then you go and pick it up.
Right.
And this is why our services, we've been doing it for 5 years, because we drop it off, check everything, and pick it up when it's ready.
Which is this is something I want to point out to a lot of people, and they'll understand where they're going when I say this, and that is, if they don't use somebody like you. I know that. Listen, this is what people say. Oh, I don't use agencies because they make money. Yes, they do make money. You're in business to make money, but one thing they have to understand is, oh, I can do it myself and I can save 3,000 or 4,000 baht. Well, let me tell you, trying to save 3,000 or 4,000 baht, running to Bangkok a couple of times and ticking a few boxes wrong and having to do all the paperwork over and over again and getting kicked up the arse by the police and sent home, right, costs you more than 3,000 or 4,000 baht that you're saving. So using somebody like you and your services is well worth it, because get it right the first time and that's it. You don't have to mess around.
Bingo.
Agreed.
That's all I'm saying. Now, one thing I have got to say...
We do have a lot of clients, see, Dave. Forget somebody in Pattaya that's 2 hours away from Bangkok. We've got customers in Koh Samui, Phuket, all over Thailand.
Yeah.
And it costs them more than a couple of grand to get to Bangkok twice.
Yeah, sure.
So this is why it's a favourable service.
Yeah, a lot of people are very short-minded when they think, oh, he's charging me 20 grand, for example, but I can do that for 11 or 10 or 12 or whatever. But when you take your time into consideration, when you take into your taxes, your paperwork, emails, going backwards and forwards, the food there, the whole package, you don't really save anything.
No.
Agreed.
You don't really save anything. One thing I've got to say, and I mean, one thing we have got to acknowledge here, Bobby doesn't know. I mean, you knew Jimmy Smiles, didn't you? Did you know Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy, yeah.
So we know that Jimmy, a couple of days ago, died.
I didn't know.
Yeah, okay. So what it was, I want to just say this. I know Jimmy because Jimmy helped us and he worked with us, okay?
Yeah.
And he was a great guy. He was also a lot of fun. Had 3 boys, Thai boys. He got the boys from here, from Pattaya, took them back over to the UK, and he's over there, and he's been over there, I think, 3 or 4 years with the boys, and he's done a fantastic job. Num, his wife, has been fighting to get the visa right and to get over to there for some complications whatsoever. A few months ago, she was passed to go, okay, and she was due to leave this Friday.
Oh, okay.
And Jimmy sadly died a couple of days ago. So we're thinking of you guys out there. Num, if you're listening, I did say that I would say it for you. And we're thinking of Jimmy's family and the boys as well. So
rest in peace, Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah, and they've got a lot of support for the boys. So I just wanted to stick that in the show and just say that we're remembering Jimmy. Okay.
You're just talking about then, Dave, about using an agent's important. Would you remember the story with the old Only Fools and Horses guy who used to live out here?
Yes, Pat Murray.
Pat Murray.
Yes.
Okay, he used to play.
He used to play in Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, not Trigger. What's the other guy called? He always used to wear the hat, didn't he? The black trilby hat. Yeah. Well, Pat had a terrible time.
Yep.
I mean, I did the passport for his child. Yeah, had a terrible time trying to get his wife over to the UK to live. I mean, they ended up going to the Home Office and everything. It was a big deal. But again, their attitude was the paperwork wasn't right, so he had to do it by the book. Yeah,
he had to. Yeah, I can say he had to do loads of stuff, didn't he, to get her over there? Did he get her over in the end?
Yes,
he did.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so.
Mickey
yes.
Pierce.
That's it. But I don't think he used an agent.
No,
he just tried to fight to do it himself. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, my advice, even if
I could be wrong there, but I'm not sure.
But my advice, I mean, and let me put it this way: being in the business that I'm in the media and doing the news and stuff like that, you think, he does all that himself, or he's got somebody that just the secretary fills out the papers and they go and do it themselves. No, I still use an agent. I still use an agent like yourself. You've got to be used. You have to be used. You can save a few quid, but you know what? Toss to that, mate, because it's not worth it.
No.
It ain't worth it.
Well, I wouldn't have been here 16 years if it wasn't needed, would I?
Well,
there's a lot of people out there that don't want to do it on their own. There's a lot of people don't want to queue up at immigration. They'd rather go and play golf and let me go and do it. Or my staff go and do it. That's the whole reason.
Well,
it's a service.
It's just like I said, it's just out of mind, out of sight, and it's done.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. You don't have to have, the amounts of people that try to do all these things themselves. And yes, they say, oh, it's a piss easy, it's all this, is all that. Well, it's not always piss easy. They know that it's not. But to the normal person, it's a lot of stress.
Yeah, but again, it's the taproom lawyers that start it. Oh, my mate only knew his bird 1 week and he got a tourist visa. Only he did it himself. Only cost him 25 pence. All his bollocks. We hear it every single day of the week. But they don't realise what's really, really involved in it when you start from start to finish.
It's very important to know you, by the way, because if you do, we get free calendars from you. We got a free calendar for 2021. Look. And you open it up and it says January, I owe you.
Now you can get hold of me now.
Now you get hold of you. All right, okay. Anything you'd like to add to today's show, or it's been a good one? Nice bit of a chinwag?
Enjoyed it, yeah. I always enjoy it, Dave. Trying to give the guys the information that we know. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot at the moment, but if we could keep them updated, we'll do our best.
Absolutely, keeping them updated. We put you out on all the different media platforms. Now we're putting it out online, and we're putting out on other platforms that we're getting into groups on there as well. So it's slowly getting out there. The information is getting good. Of course, a few more emails upstairs, which in the next show I'll answer because I'm putting them all together to comply. A few emails so we can go through them together. Yeah, be good. Which is good, and say who they're from. Thanks to everybody that sent us messages today. I'll sort of add on and put a couple of things to the questions later on. But
it's always a good show, Dave.
I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy. Regardless of, we're here to talk about the visa industry. We talk about, to make it easy on people and try and give it to them in a nice, homely atmosphere, relaxed atmosphere. To say we're not serious business guys. We are business guys, but why we want to be serious? Let's be part of the family and have a good laugh.
Well, these guys are stuck in the UK or wherever. They're sat in front of the computer, wondering what's going on in Thailand, and we're telling them.
Yeah.
You're not missing anything, so don't get over.
You're not missing anything.
No, not at the moment, and so don't stress yourself about it, But the tourist visas are very easy to get. If you can manage to get through the quarantine for a couple of weeks, I think that will come down. I think next month, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they'll go down to 7 to 10 days.
I think that from the second week of December, they will be down to 7 to 5 days.
I'm hoping
that's my prediction on, of course.
Well, for the guys that love to come out here at Christmas and New Year, we'd love to see you. We want you to come out. We want you to come and liven the place up.
I think that the attitude in Thailand, in Asia, especially in Thailand, I think the attitude in Thailand will be, oh, there's a vaccine now. Oh, great. Okay, all right, let's relax everything now. I just think they will see it like that.
I hope so.
Because that's how they've seen things in the past. So I can't see them changing tradition. But I think that the white card and the paper from the injection is the two things that you're going to need.
And the fact that the vaccine for Asia from Pfizer will be produced and distributed from Thailand.
Yeah, sure.
I'm hoping that because it's a UK company, they'll relax. Once the vaccine does arrive, they will start relaxing the rules a little bit, and helping the foreigner, because we've got a bit of a lever now. Maybe that's part of the deal. So let's just fingers crossed.
Let's just hope fingers crossed, and let's hopefully that they can get it out there. By the way, so the guy that asked me a question today, and I said I'd answer on air, and that is that my CBD oil, my marijuana oil, which is on prescription. Yes, that I went down and we filled out everything and got the marijuana on it. That is working, by the way, guys. All right. So my pain threshold a day, instead of being 100%, is down to about 60%. So it's took away 40.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's took away 40% of the pain, which is helping. Okay, it's not a cure. Whatever you guys think about this, at the end of the day, from having a stroke and having the pain, it's taking it down by about 40%. But believe me, when you take 40% of the way away from 100% of the pain.
Glad to hear that, man.
It helps. So it is relieving a little bit. So
do you think I get it because I banged my thumb?
Well, actually, I put that on and he thought it was my dick.
What, that big?
No, it was black.
Oh my! No, that is a fucking big problem, isn't it? No, I think I'll leave that stuff alone.
Absolutely not going to go there. Once you've gone black, you're not going back. Okay, right. Let's say it's been a good day. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Darren Mc Garry, thanks for coming in the studio. We'll see you next Wednesday. Of
Looking
course,
forward to it already.
have a chinwag. Expats on Friday again at 10:30. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at the beach room again. So
Well, that is the room, isn't it? That's the
the
one.
room. That's
The one. And hopefully we can. We're working on a little bit of something at the moment, so but we can talk about a little bit later on. Yeah. Hey, Bob. Enjoyed it.
You got it. Thanks, Darren.
all right, you're welcome. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, guys. It's been a good one. Thank you.
Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand, with your host Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.